want to make sure that I acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley, because Tiege Hanley sent me this new pack. They sent me the new Tiege pack, so I just literally pulled the paper out, got it out of the mail, and I started going through it, and I got a little bit more excited than I should. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me the Tiege pack, and I don't even know what this is yet. So I'm assuming this is what you get when you first order your Tiege, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right. So now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right, so that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then, what is this? Says, squeeze a quarter-size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack, but then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And dang, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day. Right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you're going between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally, because anybody can do that little pitch, and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order, and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Thursday, April 11th in 2024, year of our Lord. Shout out to all of you guys. We got another opportunity to do great things. God woke us up this morning. We blessed. Some of us didn't make it, like O.J. Simpson, but we're going to get to that shortly. Some of us didn't live to see another day, but we had a full life. And what did you do with it? What did you do with it? Did you chill? Did you relax? Did you fumble it? Do you have so many self-inflicted wounds? What did you do with it? What did you do with the opportunity that God gave you today? We're going to talk about it. Hey, let me know where y'all tapping in from. Let me go ahead and get some of this housekeeping out of the way. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon if you have not already. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. You know where the link is. Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order plus 20% off for life. For life. That's only with the Anton Daniels pack, that Tiege pack. If you're dealing with any other packs, get rid of it and go ahead and sign up for that new Tiege pack. And let's get to it. Y'all said rest in peace to OJ. Huh. Interesting. DMV, North Carolina, Missouri. I see y'all in the building. Cali is up. What up, Cali? Mrs. K is in Florida. Good day in Miami Beach. What's the weather like in Miami Beach? No, we're not going to say Chicago suburbs. We're just going to say Chicago. Palm, Florida. Yeah. I see y'all out here in the building. Let me see what else is going on. Where else? Charlotte, Houston. Nope, just Houston, not the Houston suburbs, just Houston. We just gonna roll with that. Nashville. Shout out to Nashville. Seaside, Cali, I see you. Lake Worth, Florida. 757. Johannesburg, South Africa. Shout out to South Africa in the building. New England, what up though? Detroit, I see you. New Orleans. Let's see who else we got in the building. Atlanta, Georgia, B. Moore, Southern California, Angola. Okay. I got Roll Tide, Alabama, Vegas, Washington, Maryland. Naptown is in the building. I see you. Miami, Florida, Charlotte, I see you. What up, though? Jacksonville, Detroit, Miami, Evanston, Illinois. Where is that at? Sugarland, Texas, Milwaukee. What up to Miami-Dade County Clerks of the Courts, 84 in Miami. Wow, 84. San Antonio, Jersey City. Elk Grove, California, HTX. North Carolina by way of Greenville, Maryland, Trenton, New Jersey, Dalton. You over in Dalton? Shout out to my people over there in Dalton. Birmingham, Alabama. I see you. Evanston, San Antonio, Honduras. Mount Clemens, Michigan. What up to Mount Clemens? Atlanta. Cincinnati, Florida, 954. I see you over there. Bay Area. What up, though? Grand Rising. Over there in Queens, New York, Baltimore, Botswana, Phoenix, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Houston via Panama, Charleston, South Carolina, Cincinnati, Blackety Black down. Okay, I see y'all. You know, we got some bad actors. We always got that boy that's in the back of the class that want to be bad. I see you. Brooklyn in the house, Ventura, Portland, Oregon, south of France, Connecticut. I see you. What up, though? All of my people in the building, what's going on, y'all? Give yourselves a round of applause for making sure that y'all show up and get this work. I want to give a shout out to Tommy. Says, keep cooking. This is for yesterday, last night. Shout out to Tommy. I appreciate you, Tommy. Thank you, my friend. Mike, that dude. Shout out to Mike, that dude, always holding me down on Cash App. I appreciate you. Michael. Shout out to my dog, Michael. I appreciate you, Michael, always contributing into the pot. Thank you, my friend, for that cup of coffee. And let's see. I got a super chat, early super chat in the building. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Lot, in the building. He says, great stream last night, big bro. Excellent message. You know, first of all, let me say that I appreciate you for holding me down and sending that phenomenal super chat. Let me also say this too, right? Sometimes I be thinking to myself, I look up, an hour didn't pass since I started my little soliloquy in the morning, or not in the morning, in the late night on Wednesday night. And I be like, dang, I got like so much to get out. I got so much more to talk about, but then I got to cut it off because I know that people's attention span only lasts for yay long. And so I got to make sure that I don't go too long in order to be able to add value into your life so that the message can stick. But there was a lot to it. If y'all did not watch last night's live stream, make sure you do so and then run it up. So we're going to go ahead and get the quick hit shortly. And thank you, Mr. Lott. I appreciate you for holding me down and supporting the platform. But let me just say this right here. Y'all got to cut off the bad legs, the people that's holding you down, And I'm not saying holding you down as far as like really supporting you. Yo, it's some people in your life and it's some vices in your life that you gotta let go. You gotta let go. And I'm not gonna make this a long intro but this is just my thoughts and this is just what's on my mind. You gotta let some things go and you gotta let some people go. I don't care how great you think they have been in your life at different points. Once they become toxic, y'all growing in two different directions. I don't care what history y'all had, how good it was. I don't care, what event that you did that you think is necessary for you. I don't care what hood you come from and you think you got to have some loyalty to the hood. You don't. You don't. When it's time to go, it's time to go, and you got to let it go. You have to let it go. You cannot progress by looking backwards. You cannot walk forward in a straight line by looking backwards. You cannot. You got to let it go. I'm telling you, shout out to Charles Freeman. I'm going to read that shortly. You have to let it go. You got to move forward. Never go back. Never go back. Never go back. Don't even take the pathway through it so that you think about stopping over there. If you got a hood that you done came from or a neighborhood that you grew out of and you going into a different direction, never go back. If you dealing with a man and y'all wind up going in two different directions, but y'all don't have no ties to each other as far as children or anything like that, and you moving in a different direction, and maybe you was getting your head cracked in, or maybe something negative was happening, and it's a reason that you left, move forward, never go back. Once you let go or you release yourself from the clutches of the devil, don't go and put yourself back in it. Trust me, don't go and put yourself back in it. I done seen it happen time and time again. And people do it, and they've been trauma bonding for their whole lives, and then they figure out when it's too late that they should have never been in it in the first place. Never been in it in the first place. Never go back. Walk away. Walk away. There are some people, some things that is toxic in your lives that you gotta let go. You have to let go. Just remove it, block it, never go back. Never go back. Hear me out. Okay? Sometimes y'all get the itch. Sometimes y'all think about it. I don't care what you got to do. Fight that demon. Fight that demon. Y'all don't have to be cool. Listen, for every friend you get up, or for every person that's toxic in your life that you give up, there's 10 more people that's waiting for you to be friends with you. It's 10 more people waiting on you to be friends with you. And I know it's some people, they like, man, I wish I can get that time back. They wish they can get the time back. You know how you live life and you be thinking to yourself, man, if I can go back over again and redo this differently, let's not have any more of those moments. We got enough of those moments in our life. We got enough money fumbled, enough people that we spent too much time with, enough of something that we subjected ourselves to. When you be thinking to yourself, man, if I'd have never did that before, if I'd have never attached myself to that person, if I'd have never walked in that door over there, man, my life would be so much different. It would be so much easier. We not having any more regretful moments, because regretful moments are self-inflicted wounds that we knew better, that we should have never been involved in the first place, but we walked through that door anyway. Never go back. Break that. Break that. That's a curse. That's a curse on your life. And it don't feel good afterwards. Even if you think you're living in a moment and you think that things are going great, it don't feel good afterwards. At the end of the day, you got to sleep it off. You got to try to forget it. Y'all be having therapy and trying to get somebody that people and things and vices and issues be living rent-free in your head all the time. Man, come on, man. Let that junk go. Let it go. It ain't nothing good there. It wasn't nothing good for you. A lot of times we also have a revisionist history, right? We got this memory in our lives where we think that certain things in the past, once we get so far removed from it, was actually better than what it is. We see those type of people all the time. You know what I'm saying? They got this mindset that they was doing way better and they was way more awesome. Listen, every old person that I've ever ran into will tell you about how great they had it back in their childhood. No, it wasn't. You was poor. You was broke. Your stomach was touching your ribs. You was skinny not because you was fit. You was skinny because you ain't have nothing to eat. And every time that you did get something to eat, it was filled with sugar. It had no nutrition in it. It wasn't cool. Your father didn't like you. Your mother abused you. Your brothers and your sisters, they was touching on you because they was bigger than you, and you didn't even know why you now a part of the alphabet community in the first place. But then we'll sit there because you looking at something that you don't like today, and then for some reason we'll have this revisionist history like your life was so awesome when you was younger. No, it wasn't. Your life was trash. Your neighborhood was garbage. You had dope fiends everywhere. Nobody liked you. They called you the ugly duckling. God finally did something with you. You prayed to God, forgot that you prayed to him, and then he took you out of your circumstance. He gave you something better and something different. And now you looking at that like that's old hat, and then you talking and using those talking points, acting like you came from something greater. You didn't. You was poor as hell. You know, I keep seeing all of these people acting like they 10s. You're not a 10. We don't even know no 10s. We've never seen a 10 before, and I'm not even sure that we've ever seen a 10 on TV before, because even the cameras and the CGI made that look a little bit different than it's supposed to be. Now everybody is a baddie. Everybody is an Instagram baddie. Everybody got these high standards. Where? Where did these standards come from that's so high? Do y'all remember? Listen, remember where you came from to make sure that you never go back to it. You was dusty. Go back and look at your old photos. Trust me. You're not a different person. You just got on more makeup. You're not sexy. You just beat. Go back and look at your old photos and then praise God from where you came from and where he took you from, and never go back to it. Somehow, some way, we've lost our way. We so good. We so awesome. Everybody is running it up. Everybody is the man. Everybody is the woman. You got $37 in your bank account, but you're doing better than you was before, because when we found you, you had overdraft fees. Now all of a sudden you the man. Remember? Remember when the bank was calling you because the lights was getting cut off? Oh, I remember. Please don't help me to remind you where you came from, because now all of a sudden you better than everything, and you got such high standards. Where you get all of these standards from? Where you get all of these requirements from? Listen, it's a balance. It's a balance. The humility is within yourself so that you understand where you came from so that you never go back to it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're better than you think you are, so we have to be realistic about where we are so that we don't put ourselves in a position to suffer as a result of it, so that we got to go through it again so we can get to the next step. Get off of social media for a second. Like, put down the Instagram, put down the TikTok for just one day. For one day. Just put it down for one day. Just for one day. And come and live in reality. Like, go outside, smell the air, go and kick it with people, go and do some volunteer work, something. You know, I was looking at a video that I did a reaction to yesterday, and you had this guy that was on there simping, and then there was a woman, and she was this big old girl, you know what I'm saying? She was bigger than normal, much bigger than normal in any country, by any standards, sumo wrestler big, right? And she was over there talking about, these guys better step their game up because these women out here, even the guys in prison, is getting all of these women to put money on their JPay. And I said, what? What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, sometimes I see stuff that's just so outrageous and so ridiculous. I be thinking to myself, and now Bigum's over there think that she can have a conversation guiding people on how it is that they're supposed to be operating in the relationships because she got a dude that's simping out with a construction outfit on. So this is weird. This is weird stuff. We all got stuff that we got to work on, and we all got stuff that we got to continue to push ourselves on. But we can't continue to live in this weird space of delusion. We got to get back to reality. And we got to get back to understanding who we are. It's crazy. Do you want to get married? Do you want to be successful? Do y'all want to get married? Honestly. Like for those of y'all that's seeking love, but you don't have it yet and you're trying to figure it out, do you want to get married? Because ain't nobody going to put up with these bad attitudes. Ain't nobody going to put up with the delusion. Ain't nobody spending no home. Who are all of these people that got all of this money that's spending it on y'all and taking y'all out and doing all of these great things for you? Y'all just walking around. Y'all ain't got no budgets. Y'all just balling like that. Everybody getting to it. Everybody rich. All right, cool. Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to go ahead and get into the show, y'all. Charles Freeman is in the building, says, fire show last night, Anton. Shout out to you and Freezy. Hashtag bag chaser. Shout out to my chasers. Everybody that's new to the Patreon, shout out to you and welcome. P. Shank says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels and a Millionaire Morning Show. I appreciate you, P. Shank. Shout out to you and your consistency. My dog, shout out to Miami-Dade County Clerk of the Courts. Says, just want to drop my tithes and offerings in the basket. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody that contributes into the coffer, especially if you contribute in this amount, because you didn't have to. Shinsi says, salute. I appreciate you, Shinsi. B. Moore's Best is in the building, says, I don't know what made you start the show like this, but I needed to hear that. Thanks. Hey, I don't know why I say the things that I say. I just get to it. Mrs. K. What up, Miss K? I appreciate you, baby girl. Says, are you taking us to churches? No. I'm chilling. I'm not going to get caught up today. At Abby says, what up, though? Keep it up. Send me that super sticker. Thank you, Abby. I appreciate you. I am nerd. Shout out to I am nerd. Says, free Sama. I wasn't trying to be ill. Forget me true to myself. Huh? I don't get it. So I guess that might be to one of the moderators. Hey, moderators. Let the people cook. Let the people chill. Hey, y'all don't get too out of order. Let's get to it, y'all. Y'all ready to get to the show? Quick Hits. Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we got to keep you guys informed on what's happening out here in these streets, man. First and foremost, man was released from prison after 11 years for a murder he did not do.
New here at 4:30, exonerated. A Chicago man is now free after spending 11 years behind bars for a murder that records show there is no way he could have committed.
Christian Farr has more now on Anthony Robinson's road to freedom and what's next.
It feels good. It just, it still don't feel real.
Anthony Robinson spent 11 years in prison for a murder that the now 31-year-old could not have committed. And it was this X-ray that led to his release from Stateville Correctional Center on Monday.
It felt good to hug my sister, like hug all my family members.
In 2013, at the age of 20 years old, Robinson was sentenced to 55 years in prison by a judge for murdering Kelvin Jemison, a crime that had been captured on security video. Prosecutors told the judge that Robinson had been spotted on that same video running from the crime scene. But from the beginning, Robinson told police, the judge, and even his own attorney that a previous shooting injured his leg and foot, which made it impossible for him to run from anything.
When the judge found me guilty, I just went back in the bullpen and told my lawyer, like, you should have told him my leg was broke. He probably would never found me guilty. He said, oh, well, we just going to fight the appeal. And it's been 10 years since that.
When we got these x-rays, in our minds, there was no question that he couldn't have done it.
The Exoneration Project took on Robinson's case and tracked down his original x-rays, which had not been done during Robinson's original trial. Attorney Lauren Myerscough-Muller says an orthopedic surgeon reviewed them and said it would be impossible for Robinson to have committed this crime.
No one listened to Anthony, and I think that is part of what causes these wrongful convictions, is that no one listens to especially young men on the South and West sides.
I'm still trying to figure everything out, but it's about me. Like, I'm just trying to be successful in my life now.
Robinson now is trying to move on with his life, and the next step in his case is to apply for a certificate of innocence, which his attorney says could take years to become a reality.
I think our justice system is just absolutely broken. 100% broken. Wait. So it's already bad enough that the man spent 11 years. It was a possibility that he was going to do his whole life, 55 years. 55 5 years in prison for a crime that he did not commit. It's bad enough that and then it could take years in order for him to be able to get a certificate of innocence. A certificate of innocence, it could take years. I bet you he had a jailhouse attorney. Hey, man, just plead guilty, bro. Hey, bro, but my leg was broke. There's no way that I could have ran and did all of that. So now it would take you 11 years just to be able to get out of jail. Man, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that's convicted of crimes or take a plea deal or is scared and all of this stuff, and they innocent and they wind up taking this deal. It's so many people that go to jail, suffer for things that they didn't do. And they be acting like we get like extra lives or something like that. That's crazy. That is so crazy. So, man, listen, I like to highlight the stories and bring visibility to different things on this platform. And there's so many people that's a part of the Innocence Project that if it wasn't for technology advancing to the way that it is today, you would never even see this, or you never hear from these people again, and they would just become a part of the system, even though they are innocent. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. This man is only 31 years old. He looked like he about 49. Probably lived a rough life, suffered in prison. God knows what didn't happen to him up in there. But thank God for his release, and now he's exonerated, and hopefully he can go on to live his life and be a little bit more successful. Also, check this out. So a gang member was sentenced in the death of Aamir Griffin. Check it out, y'all.
We begin tonight in Queens, where the family of Aamir Griffin faced his killer, Sean Brown, in court.
Griffin was shot and killed by Brown in 2019 while playing basketball, a case of mistaken identity. Brown, a known gang member, mistook Griffin as a member of a rival gang and shot him multiple times.
Today, Brown tried to throw a twist in the case at the last minute. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is in Kew Gardens, Queens. Kimberly?
Well, Joe, Aamir Griffin never got to graduate from high school, go to college, or one day have a family. Yes, the 14-year-old was shot and killed in 2019. Sean Brown pulled the trigger, and today, here in court, tried to pull off a legal maneuver, but the judge wasn't having it.
A vicious individual who in 2019 was deeply involved in a bloody gang war in South Jamaica, Queens. Judge Kenneth Holder calling the area at the time a shooting gallery where Sean Brown did his dirty work. It's where on October 26, Aamir Griffin was simply playing basketball when a bullet fired from Brown's gun meant for somebody else instead hit and killed the 14-year-old.
Took my soul from me. I haven't slept in 5 years.
Today was time for Brown to face the music under a plea deal, serve 30 years behind bars. But at the last second, his attorney announced her client wanted to withdraw the guilty plea he had just signed off on in March.
I thought me saying the plea deal was going to buy me more time to get another lawyer.
The judge called it a stalling tactic, pointing out the 21-year-old had been part of each and every step of this process for this and another separate case.
This is the second time that you have attempted to say, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to allow it.
The judge sentenced the reputed gang member to 3 decades in prison.
The only way we can get close to Aamir now is by visiting his grave, where we clean it off, place flowers, balloons, and shed tears over how much we missed it.
Before leaving the courtroom, the judge told Brown Aamir had the right to go to school, get a job, live, and die naturally without violence. Amir's mom urged others not to get caught up in the violence.
You have way more things out there that you could be doing besides shooting someone. My son is no longer here. He was a basketball player, not a gang member.
And Judge Holder left Sean Brown with something else to think about while behind bars, telling him even though he is part of this violent culture that hopefully maybe one day he will come to terms with what he has done and help others.
Now, that young man did not look like he was somebody that was remorseful. He looked like somebody that felt okay with doing 30 years. Honestly, imagine your kid goes out to play, and they going to play basketball. is some unknown gang war that's going on where people is fighting over something that don't even mean anything. And your son is gone in an instant because a bullet that was meant for a known gang member just so happened to hit him. It's always the good ones that die early. It's unfortunate. And then last but not least, this is an interesting one. And I thought that I'd throw a curveball at y'all this morning. This is an interesting one in that a principal is being charged because a teacher was shot by a 6-year-old. I'm not making this up. Hear me out again. The principal, the assistant principal, is being charged with 8 counts, felonies, because a teacher was shot with a gun by a 6-year-old. 6. A 6-year-old. Check it out.
It's believed to be the first case of its kind in the country. According to court documents, a special grand jury in Newport News, Virginia, has indicted Dr. Ebony Parker, the former assistant principal at Richneck Elementary School, on 8 counts of felony child abuse. The charges stemming from the 2023 school shooting involving a 6-year-old boy who opened fire on his teacher, Abigail Zwerner. Savannah interviewed Zwerner last year.
I just will never forget the look on his face that he gave me while he pointed the gun directly at me. That's something that I will never forget. It's changed me. It's changed my life.
In a $40 million civil lawsuit, Zwerner alleges that on the day of the shooting, Parker was warned at least 3 times that the child had a gun. And while the child's backpack was searched and no weapon found, Zwerner's lawyers allege Parker ignored the warnings.
A student out in the playground saw the boy take the gun out of his pocket. That student went to a teacher and said, "I saw him with a gun." That teacher ran down to the assistant principal's office and said, "I now have a student who has seen the gun." And that teacher requested permission to search his person. And the assistant principal said, "No."
What should Dr. Parker have done?
She should have called the police after multiple warnings that a child may have a gun.
NBC News' attempts to reach Dr. Parker and the school for comment were unsuccessful. Experts say this indictment is not only unprecedented, but represents a potential change in who can be held legally responsible in school shootings.
Cases like these are about sending a very clear message that school shootings are so horrible, we're willing to depart from the traditional rules and hold people responsible that really historically have not been held responsible before.
How do you even make sense of something like this?
You can't. You can't. I'm not sure when the shock will ever go away because of just how surreal it was.
I mean, Aaron, is there a chance beyond this that some others could also be charged at some point?
Craig, it is possible. Just last year, the prosecutors launched a grand jury to look into that very question, whether any, quote, acts or omissions by school officials warrant possible criminal charges. It's also worth noting that the 6-year-old boy's mother is now serving a 2-year sentence on state felony child neglect charge. And the boy is currently being cared for by his great-grandfather, the great-grandfather, telling our affiliate that he has switched schools, that his grades have improved, and that the little boy understands that this was a terrible, terrible mistake.
So many thoughts. So many thoughts. Man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't know what the appropriate response to this whole thing is. 6 years old. Let's put this in perspective. First of all, the great-grandfather, which means that the father don't have him. Who knows who the father is? The grandfather, we don't even know if he's alive. The great-grandfather is taking care of this boy that pulled out a gun and shot a teacher when they was off of the playground. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. I I just don't even know how to put this in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, a 6-year-old. What? And I mean, this principal, like this assistant principal, I mean, it just sounds like her life is completely over, 100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. Good God. Let me read some of the super chats, and then we're going to continue over with the show. We got a lot to cover today. Jamal Fowler says, sliding through. Shout out to my dog, Jamal Fowler. I appreciate you. Black Man Unfiltered Network is in the building. Shout out to Black Man Unfiltered. I ain't seen you in a while. Says, I've been trying to get you on my show since Moses threw the tables off the mountain. When you coming through, bro? When you sending me an email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Send me an email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. We're going to get it popping, big dog. Come on, man. Y'all know how to get in touch with me. I'm the easiest content creator in the world to get in touch with. I don't think that there's an easier person to get in touch with me. Y'all could even call up on my show and ask me what's going on. I give myself so much availability to the people, so y'all got to get at me, man. Trap and Slay in the building says, my client says she will be in Detroit next week, and what places do you recommend for her to eat at? She also just subscribed, say hey to, what up, Quella? Quella, what up, though? Quella is so many different spaces, so many different food spots. Just go downtown. You can go at anything. You can go to Hopcat, which is on Woodward. You can go to Zuzu, which is also a little further down Woodward, but it's over by the Chase building. Zuzu is dope. You're going to really, really like Zuzu. Moots, if you want pizza. You can go down to the Alley, which is right behind Queens. Queens is over by the Shinola Hotel, which is right next to the Hudson's Cafe. It's a lot of dope food spots. Oh, you got to go to, hold on, I got to pull it up real quick. You got to go to, they got some of the best chicken sandwiches and biscuits that I can think of. You got to go to, hold on, let me look at my whatchamacallit. Oh, go to Condado Tacos. Condado Tacos. I always wind up sitting on the toilet after I go there because I get the fieriest tacos that I can possibly get. I get the most spicy tacos that I can get, but I pay for it in the morning. Condado Tacos, that's down here. Also, go by Detroit 75 Kitchen. I almost forgot about Detroit 75 Kitchen. Detroit 75 Kitchen is the best food truck that you can find, right? The best food truck that you can possibly get. Go to Detroit 75 Kitchen. James Tolliver, they also got really good breakfast. They got some really good bagels and stuff like that. But there's one spot that I need to figure out. Hold on. I forgot the name of it. I got to get it for you, though. Give me a second. Penny Reds. That's it. So Penny Reds is literally right down the street from the Gucci store. So the Gucci store just had its 1-year anniversary here in downtown Detroit. But if you're going to be here next week, you got to also remember that the NFL draft is coming. So it's going to be, if you won't eat at food trucks, got it all day, 313, you're missing out. The NFL draft is going to be here. So they building out this whole big old construction part. So you might have a lot of streets that's closed off, but Penny Reds is literally down the street, is 1 block over, right behind the Shinola Hotel, right 1 block over from the Gucci store, and actually Moots Pizzeria is right down the street also. So go to Penny Reds. Penny Reds got some of the best honey biscuits that you can possibly get and chicken sandwiches. And I wound up getting Mexican street corn over at Penny Reds. It's really, really good. Zuzu's, Hopcat, Penny Reds, James Tolliver. Go to Astoria to get your dessert. Moots Pizzeria. Detroit 75 Kitchen, and what am I missing? There's some other stuff that I'm missing too. The Godfrey. Go to the Godfrey. The Godfrey got a new spot right off of Michigan Avenue that you can check out, and that's going to be absolutely awesome, all right? So, yeah, go to that. Go to all of those places, and you'll get it popping. And you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people and don't go to the Coney Islands downtown. Those ain't the real Coney Islands. Don't go to the Coney Islands downtown. Those are not the one. Okay, don't go to National. That's just a touristy spot. That's not the best Coney Island, all right? If you're going to go to any of the Coney Islands, you're going to have to go to the ones in the hood, but I'm not necessarily recommending that you go to the ones in the hood because it may not be that safe for you. So stay away from those. You just got to know where to go when you go into a Coney Island, all right? Yeah, man. It's really, really. Oh, one more spot. Pizzapopolis. Got to get Pizzapopolis. Listen, I know the people in Chicago is going to feel some type of way about this, but Pizzapopolis's pizza is actually better than Chicago-style pizza. I've been to Chicago. I've been to all of y'all little spots, the little Giordano's and all of that stuff like that. Listen, Pizzapopolis pizza is better. I'm about to give me some Pizzapopolis today. Pizzapopolis pizza is better than Chicago-style pizza in Chicago. All right? All right. Shout out to you and shout out to Quella. I know all of the food spots. You know what I'm saying? And if you want me to throw you some other spots that's behind the scenes, hit me up and email me and I'll get you that. AJ Wise. AJ Wise says lawyer milk dude for appeal money. Facts. Shout out to that. Yes, true, Messi. Yes, true. Absolutely true. Yes, it is true. Devastator says parents should be charged too. Apparently the mother is already doing time. I am nerd says I made a drawing of you last year for your B-Day. Can I draw for you again? Shout out to Sama. Send it to me, big dog. I appreciate you. Yes. Mr. P says, since that talk, I have been making improvements every chance I get. I'm also back in school to earn a bachelor's degree for cybersecurity. Yeah, shout out to you, Mr. P. I appreciate you for tapping in. All right, y'all ready to get into the show? All right, let's get to it. So my dog, OJ. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. OJ Simpson passed away from cancer. Now, I know that there's a lot of mixed feelings about this because some people feel like OJ Simpson actually got away with murder. Doesn't even matter anymore. Doesn't even matter anymore. And the reason that it doesn't matter anymore is because you can't hold him accountable. Only God at this point can hold him accountable. O.J. Simpson had a very interesting life and a very tumultuous life. But here's a general summary of what O.J. Simpson's life was like and him passing away from cancer at 76. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification. Chicago does not have the best pizza on earth, Messi. I'm sorry to tell you.
Here we have just learned that O.J. Simpson has died at the age of 76. His family putting out this statement just moments ago. On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. And that was from the Simpson family. Apparently was battling cancer, Sandra. And as I think you had said that you'd seen him recently, and he had looked fairly frail in the last few months.
Yeah, prostate cancer that he was not able to overcome, obviously. And I believe it was a TMZ camera that stopped him and asked if he would enter hospice care, and to which he replied no. He's 76 years old. He began to look very frail during his cancer battle. Clearly, everything you just described about his later part of his life overshadowed his early football success. I mean, this was O.J. Simpson, Buffalo Bills, 11 seasons in the NFL, but all that professional success obviously overshadowed by his trial and controversial acquittal for the murders of his former wife, Nicole Brown, and her friend, Ron Goldman. I mean, we all have our memories going back to those days. I know you have yours. We can picture the white Bronco and the police chase. And why was that a time, 1995, Dana?
Indeed. Yes, I was a waitress at the time when that jury decision came down. But also, I mean, to look back before all of that happened, you know, he had a pretty incredible football career. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1968. He was playing for the University of Southern California. He set numerous records there, as I'm sure the sports fans amongst us will be able to tell me. He was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1985. And then, you might not, I don't know if do you remember he was an actor?
Yeah.
Yes, and he was in, what was that movie?
I wouldn't be able to tell
one
you
on the
that.
plane, Naked Gun. That's the one I'm remembering.
But I know
yes.
that was part of his very complicated career before all of this happened. Someone who knows a lot about that is Jim Gray, Dana. He is joining us now.
Oh, great.
Jim, I know you've gotten the news. O.J. Simpson dead at the age of 76 following his prostate cancer battle.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to process this because such an amazing football career, broadcasting career, and then overshadowed by the conviction of civil charges on the killing of Ron Brown and Nicole Brown Simpson. I'm sorry, Ron Goldman. I knew O.J. quite well. When I worked at CBS, O.J. worked at NBC, and they would send me to his games. And he would end up giving me a ride home from the airport, ride to the game, spend several meals together. And I never saw a guy who enjoyed his public persona more than O.J. Simpson. He would show up at a place and everybody would light up. Then, of course, he was acquitted on those charges, but accused of murder. And I never spoke to him again after that time.
Oh, is that right?
Did see him at a fight one night. Yeah, did see him at a fight one night, but our paths did not cross. But a very disturbing, complicated life.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson had.
Tell us about his early football talents at the University of Southern California, indeed, winning the Heisman, setting numerous records.
He was a great football player, great running back. He had the single-season rushing record for a long, long time in the National Football League that was broken by Eric Dickerson in 1984. Dickerson's record still stands to this day, 2105, but O.J. Was the first running back in the National Football League to eclipse 2,000 yards in a single season. Hasn't happened too much in the National Football League history, and he had that record. And he was a bigger-than-life figure. When he came to the University of Southern California, he kind of lit up. He kind of lit up the playing field, and he kind of took Hollywood by storm. He was one of those guys that had this magnetism that attracted everybody to him. And
let me show this other clip of what was going on with O.J. in different perspectives.
Good morning, I'm Diana Macedo. We're coming on the air because we have breaking news. O.J. Simpson has died. His family says Simpson died yesterday, saying he succumbed to his battle with cancer, surrounded by his children and grandchildren. It was revealed in February that Simpson was battling prostate cancer, but he refuted rumors at the time that he was in hospice care. ABC News audio reporter Alex Stone joins me now on the phone. Alex, what do we know at this point?
Well, Diane, his family, as you mentioned, says that he died yesterday, we believe, in Las Vegas, where he had been living. It was only a couple of weeks ago where he had refuted the claims that he was in hospice care right around the Super Bowl. Word had come out that he may have been in hospice care, and he put out a video on X saying that he was fine, looking like he was going to go golfing. His impact on Southern California and really the world cannot be overstated. Going back to his time in the NFL and at USC and then the NFL, then the infamous trial in the 90s for the double murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. He was acquitted of that. There were a number of years where he was in and out of the headlines, and then we covered for a number of months the hotel room armed robbery case in Las Vegas. He ended up going to prison for that, got out, had been living in Las Vegas. His family now saying on X that he has died, Diane.
Alex, he became such a national focal point during that trial for the murders of his wife and his ex-wife at the time and her friend. What legacy does O.J. Simpson leave behind now so many years later?
Well, I think that depending on how one looks at O.J. Simpson, there is the football part of it, the star that he was, the Hertz commercials running through the airport. He was the biggest of the big star before that trial. And then the shock of the trial. There are many Americans who will always believe that he committed that double murder. Others who believe that he did not. You remember the lines that came out of that. If it does not fit, you must acquit. The impact of that trial, for those who were not alive during that time or not old enough to remember it, was incredible. The whole world watching that trial during that time, the whole world watching TV and listening to the radio, waiting for that verdict to come down. And then when it came down, much of America did not agree with it. And then he was sometimes almost comically in and out of the headlines over many years. And then to get in trouble again in Las Vegas, to get back his own memorabilia, he got into the memorabilia trade and selling his items over many years, and then went into retirement, always claiming he was looking for the real killers of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. There were always those who were saying he wasn't doing enough to do that.
So I remember during that time, because I was a young dude at that time, I remember during that time that he was on trial, that it was just a divisive moment between people. It was something, again, that kept people distracted. Black people was rooting for him to get off because they had vitriol towards white people, and all of the different things that they felt like white people had got away with as far as the acquittals and the police beatings and everything like that. And then white people felt like he really, really did it, and they felt like an innocent man got off from killing Ron Goldman and the other girl, right? And so it's really interesting to see the things that we throw our support behind, and the people that we see as our heroes, because they wind up getting them anyway. They wind up getting them for a $33 million judgment in a civil trial in which they filed against him, because a civil trial was completely different from a criminal trial, and he had to defend himself against both. That's number one. I remember the white Bronco going down the street and everybody was captivated and they had it on TV. And I also remember him coming back and getting thrown in jail as a result of trying to get his own memorabilia back. And it was like, yo, we gonna get you anyway. So it's very interesting to see how polarizing people are. And the last memory that I actually have of O.J. Simpson is seeing him on It Is What It Is with Cameron and Mace. It's the last thing that I remember hearing and seeing of O.J. Simpson. He was actually a person that was on their platform, and he would have a take, and it was pretty funny. And it's amazing how he participated on that platform, and he would make jokes or whatever about certain things, and tongue in cheek that referred back to his past and stuff like that. So I mean, listen, we'll never know. We'll never know. You can always think that you know whether or not he did it or not. Do I think that he did it? It doesn't really matter what I think, because I was too young for it really to matter at that time. What was that, like 96, 97? 96, 97? It didn't matter to me. I don't think that it mattered to most people at the time of whether or not he actually did it. The only thing that people cared about was whether or not he was going to get acquitted or whether or not he was going to be found guilty based off of color. Even back then, it was more pronounced for identity politics to take a front row seat center, and we didn't have social media back then, so everybody was just tuned into their TV. The only thing that people, it was 94, 95? Okay, 94, 95. Okay, so if it was 94, 95, then I was only 12, 13 years old. I had just jumped off the porch. Yep, I was 12, 13 years old. And I just remember everybody being so concerned, and a white Bronco driving down the street and everything that was going on. And when they found him not guilty, I remember everybody in my family was like, ah, you would think that the Super Bowl was run by the Detroit Lions. Everybody was screaming and they was happy and they was holding each other. And I was thinking, honestly, I was thinking to myself, like, I just didn't understand. I didn't know why it was such a polarizing moment. But now that I'm older and I'm 41 years old, it's very interesting, because knowing what I know and knowing what identity politics and identity issues and the fact that people are still, do you know that if that was 95, 94, 95, and it's 2005, right, which is 30 years later, do you know that we are having the same conversations and we align ourselves up based off of color in the same way that we did back then? The same way that we did back in 94, 95 is the same way that we align ourselves based off of color today. We have not changed. We have not made one drop of progress. We have not evolved. We still identify across however you identify as black, white, and all of this stuff. And it's still the same thing. We the same way that we was back in 94, 95. Crazy, bro. But he was acquitted, and he got a trial, and the jury found him not guilty, and then they tried to take away all of his money and sued him. And he went quietly into the wind, and he wound up dying of prostate cancer, basically old age at 76 years old. I guess the other thing that I'm wondering is, what constitutes a long life, a full life? What constitutes a full life? Like, how do we say that a person lived a full life? What age? Because I seen somebody in the chat earlier, and they said, man, if you could live to be 76, 77, 78 or whatever, so on and so forth, as a black man, and you've really made it. Man, I felt like I made it just to make it past 18 and 21 years old, coming from Detroit, Michigan. In the 80s and the 90s, being able to graduate from high school in the year 2000, and everybody was rooting for you. And it's so funny because when you graduated back then to go to college, a lot of us at that time was the first people to go to college. We didn't know that we was going to be signing up for student loans. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, the first time, a lot of us was the first of our family to go to college, and they were so happy for you to go to college, you just signed at the dotted line, and you didn't even think about the possibility of what student loans was going to be doing to you. You just signed up. You was just happy to be going. We remember the Freaknik, and we was on campus, and we was going to make it happen. Freedom, hoes, yes. And everybody went and they signed up for their African-American studies and all of that stuff. And yeah, it was an interesting time back then. Interesting time. So again, O.J. Simpson passed, and at 76 years old from prostate cancer. Guys, go to the doctor, get checked out. Go to the doctor, get checked out, okay? I go to the doctor every single year. I get checked out. I go to the dentist twice a year. If y'all got benefits on your job, if you have benefits on your job, use them. Go to the dentist, go to the doctor, get checked out. A lot of the stuff that we wind up getting into is preventable. It's preventable, all right? So let me read some of the super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and continue with the show. Miss Lolita says, Anton, please read my email and tell Rita I said hello. I bet I got you, Miss Lolita. I got you, Miss Lolita. I see some of the people in the chat saying rest in peace to Nicole Brown. Wasn't she cheating? Wasn't she cheating? Wasn't Nicole Brown? Listen, I don't know. I was really young. Wasn't Nicole Brown getting buzzed down by Ron? And that's one of the reasons that he ran up in there, or whoever it was ran up in there and did whatever it is that they did. Wasn't they cheating? Come on, man. Come on, let's have a whole conversation. Wasn't she cheating on the OJ? On orange juice? Why y'all sitting there saying rest in peace for her? What she done did? Wait. Why y'all acting like Nicole had did something significant? Did she do something that I wasn't aware of? I mean, listen, I'm not saying that somebody should have lose their life because they getting buzzed down by somebody else. But what I am saying is, why are y'all putting these people on a pedestal like they better than what they would? Listen, come on, man. All right, hold on. I didn't want to do this. But I'm just saying, all I'm saying is, why are y'all out here acting like y'all knew these people? I'm not saying to wish nothing bad on her or her family shouldn't be consoled, but I am saying that's probably something that we don't even really care about. You know what I'm saying? We should be more concerned with other people and other things. I'm not really tripping off of Nicole Brown. I'm not saying that she deserved to lose her life, but I'm not tripping off of Nicole Brown. Hey, did y'all also know that Nate Robinson, the former NBA player Nate Robinson, is saying that he don't think that he got too much time to live because of a kidney, and New York, former New York DJ Mr. C passed away? Man, too many people. I seen y'all say that in the chat, and I actually seen that on my timeline also, but let me continue to read these super chats. I remember being in the 7th grade at a mostly white school when he was found not guilty. They lost their minds. Racial tension in the 90s was real. Yeah, they think it's so funny because people think that the race stuff and the reparations conversation and all of that stuff is a big deal today. No, in the 90s, y'all said y'all want to talk about that on After Hours about whether or not she was cheating. All right, let me put that on the list. OJ. We're going to talk about that on After Hours tonight. Don't worry about it. I'm not black, I'm OJ. Common Man 80 says OJ got cheated on by his first black wife. OJ been getting cheated on his whole life. That's why he got a white woman, but they won't tell you younger people that this was the start of black feminism. Yeah. Jamal Parks is in the building. Shout out to Jamal Parks. Jamal Parks says, how do you move faster and more efficiently? I'm starting to get a few customers, but I still feel slow when executing. And it seems like I'm never moving as fast as I need to, because things keep popping up back to back. Well, it depends on what industry you're in. What industry are you in? I need more details. Jamal, you don't have to send another super chat, but let me know what industry you're in so we can add the additional context. But mostly, y'all got to be, listen, I know it's simple and I keep saying it over and over again. I'm going to address that OJ and Nicole was divorced at the time too. I'm going to address that in a second. Y'all have to operate off of a calendar. I use a timer when I'm doing everything that I do. Let me show y'all my timer. I actually ordered it off of Instagram. For every video that I do, for every task that I take care of, everything I do in corporate America, I use a timer, right? And this is my timer right here. I actually ordered it off of Instagram. I'm not going to tell y'all what kind of timer it is because they're not paying me for it. But I actually use a timer. I give myself 10 minutes for every task. It's battery operated. I just turn it on. It sits literally right next to my big MacBook right here. I turn it. And I set it for 10 minutes. And then I hit it. Starts ticking down. And I know I got 10 minutes for every single thing that I do. I give myself 10 minutes. And I'm moving. And let me tell you what this does. A, it gives you a sense of urgency. And then B, what it also does is it prevents you from getting distracted from other things while you're doing the tasks that you can do. What I found is, and one of the reasons why I went and got this timer, what I found is that in corporate America, it was very difficult for me to get certain stuff done because all of the time that I had allocated to be able to work was getting broken up because I would have a half hour here and then I would have to go into another meeting. Half hour there, and then I would have to go into another meeting. You know what I'm saying? So I got these everywhere. I got these in my penthouse. I got these inside of the apartment. I got these all over the studio. So whatever task that I do, I set it at 10 minutes, and then I go. I set it at 10 minutes, and then I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that helps you. And then it keeps me from being distracted from any other thing. And so by the time that a half hour goes by, I got 3 tasks done. And so it forces me to work more efficiently. I have to start creating more templates. I start to figure out how I can time box things a lot better. And so I get way more done in a day where everybody else is just lackadaisical and they're trying to figure it out. I've actually learned how to be a lot more efficient and get stuff done a lot quicker than everybody else. And so it got a little thing on the back of it where I just peeled it off and I could stick it up to something. And I just use timers for everything that I do. So. You got two long meetings on our streets. Okay, baby. Yeah, shout out to my dog Jamal Parks. I appreciate you for the question. Christian Hutchinson, shout out to my Metro Detroit brethren, says, I think Cameron and Mace got an exclusive video. He has been on their platform a bunch. They didn't do that for free. Yeah, I know. Y'all say, but you got a timer on your phone. But don't nobody actually pull out their phone and set a timer. They don't do that. I mean, you can use a timer on your phone, but I found that having a separate device just for that and just setting it on my desk and actually hitting it, it's actually a really good thing. Maybe I should do a Patreon exclusive of Anton's favorite things. You know what I'm saying? McGregor is in the building, says politics haven't changed since the 1970s. Check out the Norman Lear shows and you'll see. I don't even know who Norman Lear is, but I'll check him out. OJ and me had the same agent in Hollywood. He did not kill his wife, point blank period. Her drug dealer ordered her killed. She wouldn't pay her bill. Is this true, or are you trolling? It sounds like you actually being honest. Interesting. Keyfield says, Anton, are some cops dirty? I live in LA, and yes, some are dirty. From life experiences, same with LA Sheriff's Department, former Sheriff Lee Baca and his number 2 were both arrested and in prison for corruption. Yeah, there's people dirty in everything. There's people dirty in corporate America. There's people dirty that's right next to you. There's people dirty in your own family. There's people dirty everywhere, yeah. But I think that that's on an individual basis. I don't think that all cops, like you said, I think that it's some cops. Common Man 80 says the drug dealer came to OJ for the money. OJ said F her because they were separated and broke up. Yes, yeah, she was cheating, so they went to her. That B threatened to call the cops on her dealer. Wow, that might be actually, okay. I'm not black, I'm OJ. That sounds like a reasonable thing. Bob Brown says OJ started and pioneered athlete endorsements with Hertz and Tree Sweet orange juice. That opened the door for all of the millions of athletes that have made via off the field court company endorsements. Hashtag rest in peace, OJ. Okay, I like that too. Shout out to my dog. Faith M says, hey, Anton, I second Miss Lolita also. Are you familiar with the rapper Royce the 5'9"? Yeah, who don't know Royce the 5'9"? Royce 5'9", Wall Street. Royce the 5'9" used to be in this group called Wall Street. It was Royce the 5'9", Jai 5. It was another guy named Jai 5'9". It was Trey Little, B.O., and it was a girl in there. They had added a girl in there later on. Royce had came out with I had actually played one of his songs on one of my early after hours when we rebranded the platform earlier this year. It was called King of Kings. It's one of my favorite songs, Effort. Too hard, yo, I done heard worse. We can get in 2 cars and accelerate at each other to see which one will swerve first. 2 blind bandits panic, whose mental capacity holds that of a globe on 9 of a... What do you say? Hold on. Too hard, yo, I done heard worse. We can get in 2 cars and accelerate at each other to see which one will swerve first. 2 blind bandits panic, whose mental capacity holds that of a globe on top of 9 of a planets. Kiss the cheek of the devil. Intelligence level was hellion in trouble, peeking on speakers in a ghetto dismissal. I'm not a fair man. Disgrace the race of an atheist. Intercept the missiles with my bare hands like an atheist. Yeah, Royce. Yeah, I still remember that. See that? I still remember that. Royce is one of the illest lyricists that I've ever heard in my entire life. See, a lot of people think that, man, listen, y'all don't know hip-hop like Tom Dog know hip-hop. Y'all don't know y'all don't know hip-hop like Anton know hip-hop. Anton really knows this. We lived it. You never know what people are going through. Live your life. It's here, then it's gone. Enjoy it. Stop paying for insurance and don't use it. Get checked. That's a fact, though. That's a fact, though. Shout out to you. Wealth Building Journey says, Pomodoro Time also works. Artificial time boxing. Yeah, it works. It's dope. It's absolutely dope. Taybiz TV says Norman Lear is the man that created Good Times, The Jeffersons, and I believe All in the Family. I'm sure more. Shout out to Taybiz. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to go ahead and I got called. It's so funny. I got hit up by my dog the other day, and he was like, "Time," because I got some hidden tracks and some hidden albums that was never released. And I was thinking to myself, man, I hope that this stuff never see the time of day. I hope that this stuff never, ever see the time of day. I sure do. I sure do. Yes, I do. Hold on. What happened to my screen? Why is my screen going out? Oh, man. What is up with my screen? There we go. All right, so we better. We back. We back. All right. So let's get back into the show. I'm going to continue to read Super Chats throughout the show. Let's continue. So, yeah, I got a bunch of footage. It's a whole bunch of footage of me out there. It's videos of, I remember, well, let me put this down. It's actually videos out there of me and Big Sean battling at the radio station. Yep, we was at the time it was 105.9, and they used to have these Friday night ciphers, and we used to show up at the radio station every Friday night, and we used to battle. Yep, we used to battle, and so it's some footage of that out there. There's some tracks out there that's on some DATs and some hard drives and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's some stuff out there. I'm sure if you get big enough, people will find it and release it. It is absolutely some footage out there, so it's pretty crazy. Anyways, keeping it moving, let me go ahead and continue on with the show. So the murderous mom from yesterday. Remember that I did that show? I might have got some footage on my phone. Remember I did that show where I was basically breaking down. Big Sean got, let me be quiet. I was basically breaking down, shout out to Big Sean, we love Big Sean. I was basically breaking down what happened with the mother that actually was on the freeway and she stabbed her boyfriend, and then she wound up throwing out her babies on the freeway, and they wound up getting killed. Well, there's more to the story, right? So now they've actually done some research and they've done some deep diving in which they can find out exactly what happened to her and who she was. And she wind up being an astrology influencer. Okay? So here's some more information on the woman that wind up killing her kids yesterday. Or not yesterday, but, wind up killing and all of that other stuff. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification.
We are learning more tonight about the mother police say murdered her boyfriend in Woodland Hills before pushing her baby and 9-year-old daughter into traffic on the 405 freeway. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carolyn Johnson.
I'm Kathy Vara. We are learning more about the online personality of Danielle Johnson and how she was known by her more than 100,000 followers. Investigative reporter Eric Leonard joins us now live from our newsroom with details. Eric.
Hi, Kathy and Carolyn. Well, we've confirmed that the mother, whose name was Danielle Johnson, was also known online as Danielle Oyaka. Through her website and social media, she sold astrology sessions and products online, and she made several posts before the deaths warning about the solar eclipse. A law enforcement source says they are confident these social media posts show Danielle Johnson, who describes herself as an astrologer and a recording artist. Some of her posts on X, formerly Twitter, made proclamations about things that would happen to people who were born under various astrological signs. One post last week warned people not to look at Monday's solar eclipse, which happened hours after the killings and deaths in this case. Many other posts were anti-Semitic. Others spread false or unproven theories about COVID-19. The LAPD says detectives believe Johnson stabbed to death her 29-year-old live-in boyfriend, Jalen Cheney, inside the apartment the couple shared in Woodland Hills. That happened early Monday morning. Then police say she pushed her 9-year-old daughter into traffic while driving on the 405 freeway in Culver City before dawn, while that girl was holding Johnson's 8-month-old daughter. The infant was hit by cars and killed. The 9-year-old was able to get over to the shoulder. She survived. Now, less than an hour later, police in Redondo Beach say Johnson was killed when her Porsche SUV struck several trees while traveling at more than 100 miles per hour. Now, detectives who've worked this case caution that even though they're eager to find some kind of an explanation for all of this violence, there is a chance it will never be understood. They say while Johnson's astrology-related posts and these eclipse references could reveal something about her mindset, without being able to interview her, there's just no way to know. Lastly, the 9-year-old girl who survived this ordeal is with the LA County Department of Children and Family Services. She has relatives here in California and out of state, and child welfare workers are looking to find the proper placement for her. Live in
Let me go ahead and show another video really quickly before we start to deep dive into her.
And tonight, revealing new information about the mother who pushed her children out onto the busy 405 freeway.
Police have learned that she was heavy into astrology, and her social media accounts were full of doomsday messages as the eclipse approached.
And KCAL News reporter Tom Wade is live in Woodland Hills now. Tom, everyone wants to know who could do all of this, and why are we getting closer to learning?
Yeah, absolutely, Pat. I think everyone wants to try to wrap their minds around how a mother could do the things that she did. All of this killing spree beginning here at this apartment complex at Woodland Hills and then ending on the 405. We may never know why this woman did what she did, but we are getting a better look into her mindset in the days and hours leading up to the crimes. Danielle Johnson, seen here for the first time since carrying out her horrific murderous rampage, tossing her baby and 9-year-old child onto the freeway, stabbing her boyfriend to death, and then killing herself in a crash. All of it happening in the early hours of Monday morning. Neighbors of the victims are still reeling.
To do what she did, the way that she did it, it's just awful.
Let me dive into this lady really quickly. So first of all, she had a website. Her actual Instagram is locked, and nobody actually knows what she did for a living. But she had a website. This is her website right here. Change reality one intention at a time. She got a bunch of testimonials. Yeah, she was really into all of that astrology junk. It's pretty crazy. Balancing system. Hey, look, bro, I got a question. Do y'all think that all of this astrology stuff is actually like is spirits and that type of stuff? I can't say if it's negative or positive, but do y'all think that all of this people that be, and this is what I be saying when I be talking about all of these earthy chicks. When I'm talking about these earthy chicks, do y'all think that all of this astrology stuff is actually got spirits and stuff in it? Because look, man, when you're trying to understand why somebody did some of the most evil stuff that you've ever seen happen in life, right? What could possess a woman to stab her living boyfriend, take both of her kids, who one of the kids' parents is actually an out-of-town father, get on the freeway, throw the 9-year-old and the kid into traffic, baby get ran over, and then you drive on? Like, I could think of more painless ways to go than driving 100 miles an hour into a tree and then killing myself. And so, like, when I say that we battling against spirits and principalities and stuff like that, how can I not take this stuff serious and say, well, what the heck is this? Like, I looked her up and I did a little bit of research, and they wound up being in a space to where it's like, oh yeah, she's one of the next up and coming, one of the best people or whatever, and so on and so forth. She got a bunch of testimonials. I don't know if any of this stuff is real, but it say, get to know Danielle, which it ain't no actual pictures on it. Danielle is a certified Reiki master teacher who was also trained in over 10 different alternative healing modalities. At a young age, Danielle had a near-death experience at 3 years old, which served her rite of passage into shamanism. I don't even know what that means. Coming from a rich lineage of indigenous shaman and medicine women, Danielle's spiritual gifts began to blossom. Danielle, during her tutelage with her personal healer in 2011, after beginning her own healing journey, after 3 years of intensive training, she began to expand her abilities by creating a unique method of healing that combined her training along with her knowledge of energy, physics, and psychology. Reiki, it's called Reiki. My bad, I don't know this stuff. It goes on to say, after undergoing her undergrad in psychology, she decided she wanted to go beyond the mundane limitations of traditional therapeutic methods of healing and start her professional career, offering services which include rituals, intuitive guidance, remote healing, and astrology. She's developed a grounded approach to total healing for everyday struggles we face and experience in our lives. With clients worldwide, she has helped subscribers in Argentina, Toronto, New York, Los Angeles, Japan, China, India, Australia, South Africa, West Africa, London, Korea, New Zealand, Spain, and many more. Combining science, alternative healing, developmental psychology, and statistical research on the impactful physiological effects that emotions and trauma have on our overall health and well-being, Danielle offers a unique approach to healing the mind, body, and soul. Interesting. Now, for those of you that can't read past the second or third grade level, don't try that at home. Here's her Twitter account. Rike, master teacher, blah, 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 blah. This is her last post on April 5th. It says, wake up. The apocalypse is here. Everyone who has ears, listen. Your time to choose what you believe is now. If you believe a new world is possible for the people right now, there is power in choice. There is power in choice. Repost to make the choice for the collective. This is what she posted on Twitter. Then she reposted, alert, this is the final warning. Turn on notifications. Do not look at the eclipse. Something big is coming. And she reposted this and she reposted that. You know, you don't want to deep dive too far into Twitter because you might see something that's a little weird because Twitter is wild. But I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. It's like none of this stuff is explainable to me. None of it is logical. Nobody in their right mind would ever do something to their children. So when I see this type of stuff or when I see these earthy type of people, I'm telling you, bro, seriously, I know I make a lot of jokes about earthy people, but when I see earthy people a lot of times, and they be into a bunch of junk, and I walk into a space or a shop or something like that, and they got a whole bunch of incense. I had read something about a woman, and I don't know how true it was. I don't know where I heard it from, but I had read something about a woman that every time you went into her shop in New Orleans, and if you go in New Orleans, they got a lot of voodoo, a lot of all of that stuff, that ancestry stuff and stuff like that. And they said that the woman, every time somebody walked in her shop, she had put like some little sprinkle dust or some stuff that's, you know what I'm saying, spirited or something like that. And it would kind of fall on a person without the person knowing that it was falling on them when they walk into the space. And I was like, you know, as a person that considers myself spiritual, I seriously be skeptical, and I be scared of dealing with these women sometimes that be extra earthy. And I'll be like, yo, you a little extra earthy. And I started hearing a bunch of women talking about all of their signs and their astrology and their moon sign and their sun sign and all of that junk. And I'll be like, yeah, let me be careful of this one. Let me watch out for this one. She might not be right. I don't want to deal with none of these weird women. Let me here. I found a little bit of I did a screenshot for y'all of something that I might have in my device. I don't know which one I can put up. Let me see. There you go. There you go. There's a young Ton right there. Oh, that's me right there looking at him. And that was us at the radio station, and we was in there doing our thing. So there you go. That's enough. We don't want to see that picture. This is all my homies, actually. Hold on. This is us in high school. This is some of us in high school. So that's my dog Tink over on the right. My dog B Mills. No, Maris. You know what's so funny about this picture right here? When I look at this picture right here, you know what's so funny? Is that the dude in the middle, he actually wound up dying. So he got killed in the hood. The dude in the middle got killed in the hood. This is us in high school. And, you know, this is how we was rolling. Anyways, keeping it moving. So there you go. Anton was a little bit into the, you know, alternative lifestyles and a couple bars and all of that. So that is Maris, Rita. That is Maris. Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So A lot of people think that I just been chilling in the house and I ain't been doing nothing and ain't nothing been popping. No, we was off the porch. We was off the porch. we was off the porch. We was doing our thing. We was having fun and making it happen and all of that stuff. So let me see what you got going on, girl.
Hello.
What's going on, baby? Yo, you just came from the dentist. What you calling me for?
Because that's not Maris, babe.
Yes, it is, honey.
No, it's not. I'm about to send you a picture of Maris. That boy's name is something else. That's not Maris, babe.
How you gonna tell me who? That's my dog. We used to hang out every single day.
Because I used to catch the bus with Maris, too. That's not him. I'm about to
That was one of my best friends. What are you talking about? That absolutely is Maris. What are you talking about?
check your phone, babe.
I'm checking it right now. Yeah, but honey, the picture that you sent me is a picture from when we was already out of high school when he wound up passing away.
Honey, that boy is not Maris.
That is Maris.
Where is Dennis? Is he in the chat? I need him to support me.
Girl, you need to lay down. You just went to the dentist. I'm going to call you back. Bye. Why would I have a random taking a picture with me in the middle of my stuff? Anyways, neither here nor there. We're not going to go too far down memory lane. We're going to keep it moving. Don't go searching up footage. Don't go trying to find albums and bars and all of that stuff. Don't go and looking at stuff. Just keep it moving. All right, so let's continue on. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get it popping. Anton, how do you deal with notifications on your phone, calls, or texts from important people when you're doing like deep work or stay? Oh, no, nobody can get in touch with me when I'm working. I see it pop up and then I just keep on working. I got little stands. I keep my phones on stands like this. They be sitting on stands. And they sit in front of me, and then I'll be working, and I'll be getting it in. So if it ain't important, and then I'll get to it later. I'm not worried about it. It'll stay as a notification. And I'm good for not always answering my messages. I'm not as quick with my messages as I should be. Breakdown Media says, thank you, Anton, for the timer recommendation. Even though I closely work with my calendar, the timer will be helpful with business, tasks, and working on my YouTube channel outside of my 9 to 5. Big up. Shout out to that. I appreciate you, Bricked Out Media. Yes. AD, was she a stabber? Come on, y'all. Y'all got to be nice. Victor Williams says, the result of I'm a Virgo. It's how I am. You astrology people are demons, and that's why I avoid y'all. Okay, I see you. Pyro says, watching your Dexter Reed video and you're wrong. Well, what am I wrong about? That he didn't deserve to get hit? That he was riding around in a Pooh Shiesty mask? What am I wrong about? Christian Hutchinson says, is this just a long-winded way of saying she's selling box? I don't know, but she definitely took her kids out. She sounds like an independent woman to me. She had a boyfriend. She had a live-in boyfriend. Why was it funny dude ended up... No. God, come on, man. Y'all got some dark humor out here in these streets. Xavier says, my wife is on astrology. I think spirits are in everything you do. Need to be careful of the things in the spirit. Long story short, I need a coaching call. Tap in, bro. Shout out to you. I appreciate y'all. All right, we got to continue over with the show. So let's go international really quickly. Let's go. You ain't found nothing, Rich Reloaded. Let's go international. Why don't y'all, hey, stop it. We going international now. So a Vietnamese billionaire woman was sentenced to death for fraud. A Vietnamese woman was sentenced to death for fraud. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Hello, I'm Regina Weidenard and welcome to this hour. In the past few minutes, a court in Vietnam has sentenced a wealthy property developer to death for defrauding a bank of billions of dollars. 67-year-old Trong My Lan was found guilty of embezzlement, bribing state officials and violating bank lending regulations after she used her hidden ownership of the Saigon Commercial Bank to channel $44 billion of loans to her own companies. It's been described as one of the greatest bank frauds in history. Well, for more on this, we can go straight to Bangkok and join our Southeast Asia correspondent, Jonathan Head. First of all, Jonathan, if you could just tell us a little bit more about what the court said today and the background to this case.
Well, the court's been giving enormous amounts of detail about this case through its 5 weeks. So everyone in Vietnam knows a lot about it. That's quite unusual there. They've wanted the public to know about this case. It is extraordinary. The amounts of money are absolutely staggering. We're talking about a significant chunk of Vietnam's GDP that this woman was able to siphon off over 11 years through these secretly channeled loans that went through a whole bunch of front companies and proxies to her own companies. The prosecutors believe that of that $44 billion, perhaps $27 billion may never be recovered. That is a staggering loss and will be very, very tough for the state bank to make up in terms of saving the bank. Really, the authorities have sort of blamed Trong My Lan and have talked about the way in which she was bribing officials and the kind of sophistication of this network. And really, it is part of an ongoing anti-corruption campaign that's been going for several years, led by the communist authorities who say they're determined to stamp it out. But of course, it does raise a lot of questions, which is how was it that this woman, she's very high profile, she's one of the biggest property owners in Vietnam, how was she able to do that for 11 years? And of course, officially the authorities say, well, she was paying off this person and that and hiding this and that. But it is extraordinary that it went on for 11 years without being stopped. And I think those questions still hang over whether the Vietnamese authorities are capable of reining in this kind of fraud.
And Jonathan, you say that this was a trial that was followed by so many people in Vietnam, and Trong My Lan is a well-known property developer in the country, but now she faces the death penalty.
That itself is extraordinary. Normally, the death penalty is not usually handed down on women, but I think this case was so exceptional in terms of its scale and the damage it's done to Vietnam's finances. They probably felt they needed to make an example of her. They may also be trying to encourage her to give as much money back as they can get her to do. This is something the other 80 defendants in court today have largely done. They're all more minor, of course, but these are all the people accused of conspiring with her, including, for example, a chief inspector at the state bank who was bribed $5 million, according to prosecutors, in order to look the other way. They've all pleaded guilty and offered to bring back as much money as they can. I think the state believes that Trong My Lan must have far more assets that she can return to the state to try and make up this massive hole in this bank's finances.
OK, Jonathan.
So this woman was basically being sentenced to death for a $44 billion fraud. Let me ask y'all a question, right? My question is this. Do you think that thieves here in the United States actually deserve a stronger sentence and a stronger penalty than what they get today? Because it's almost like you just get a slap on the wrist here. Here you get a slap on the wrist, and in other places, if you steal, because we could just go in and take whatever we want whenever we want to do it and all of that other stuff, right? But in other places, if you do some of the stuff that you do, you get a much harsher, severe penalty than what you get inside here in the United States of America. Let me share my screen with y'all really quickly. It says that behind the stately yellow portico and colonial era courthouse, 67-year-old Vietnamese property developer was sentenced to death on Thursday for looting one of the country's largest banks over a period of 11 years. Hey, all of our bankers, they just said that the banks was too big to fail. They reprinted some money and then all of them got off and nobody went to jail. Everybody that caused the housing crisis That was just it. That was it. All of our bankers went on to live successful lives. They paid themselves. There was one guy that got a little bit of a sentence as a result of the housing crisis that sent everything plunging into nothing. And then they just all got off. That's why people feel compelled to just walk inside of the stores and steal. I'm wondering what constitutes a stronger sentence here in the United States, because you can go and slap somebody and you'll be out the door. Rare verdict. She is one of the few women, and she is a woman in Vietnam, to be sentenced to death for a white-collar crime. The decision is a reflection of a dizzying scale of fraud. Convicted of taking out a $44 billion in loans from the Saigon Commercial Bank. The verdict requires her to return $27 billion. Some prosecutors say will never be recovered. Some believe the death penalty is the court's way of trying to encourage her to return some of the missing billions. Habitually secretive communist authorities were uncharacteristically forthright about this case, going into minute detail for the media. They said 2,700 people were summoned to testify, while 10 state prosecutors and around 200 lawyers were involved. The evidence was in 104 boxes, weighing a total of 6 tons. 85 others were tried. All the defendants were found guilty. 4 received life in jail. The rest were given prison terms ranging from 20 years to 3 years suspended. Her husband and niece received jail terms of 9 and 7 years respectively. 9 and 7 years for her husband and her niece. They sentencing everybody. Anybody that's close to her, anybody that's next to her, they all getting sentences. Oh, now she want to admit that I'm right. See? You need to let that anesthesia run off, Rita. She started as a market stall vendor, selling cosmetics with her mother, but began buying land and property after the Communist Party ushered in a period of economic reform known as Doi Moi in 1986. By the 1990s, she owned a large portfolio of hotels and restaurants. So wait a minute. You just automatically came up, although Vietnam is best known outside the country for its fast-growing manufacturing sector as an alternative supply chain of China. Most wealthy Vietnamese made their money developing and speculating on a property. All land is officially state-owned. Getting access to it often relies on personal relationships with state officials. Corruption escalated as the economy grew and became endemic. By 2011, she, as a well-known business figure, and she was allowed to arrange the merger of 3 smaller cash-strapped banks into a larger entity called Saigon Commercial Bank. Wow. Vietnamese law prohibits any individual from holding more than 5% of the shares in any bank, but prosecutors say that through hundreds of shell companies and people acting as proxies, she actually owned more than 90% of Saigon Commercial. They accused her of using that power to appoint her own people as managers and then ordering them to approve hundreds of loans to the network of shell companies that she controlled. Her loans made up 93% of all the bank's lending. Over a period of 3 years from February 2019, she ordered her driver to withdraw about $4 billion in cash from the bank and store it in her basement, weighing 2 tons. She's also accused of bribing generously to ensure her loans were never scrutinized. A former chief inspector at the central bank was given a life sentence for accepting a $5 million bribe. Bro, they giving out life sentences for a $5 million bribe. I know dudes that was on the internet. Hush Puppy was out here getting millions of dollars over here in PPP loans. A former chief inspector at the central bank was given a life sentence for accepting a $5 million bribe. Jesus. That's crazy, bro. Anyways, I guess women are really the real masterminds out here in these streets. Y'all saying that she was the fall guy? How y'all know that she was the fall guy? How do we know this? How do we know this? Yo, they probably is going to make a movie about her one day. But anyways, Vietnamese billionaire sentenced to death. Death. They don't have no restrictions on what they can do over there to you. Be happy you over here in the United States of America. Yo, you can come over here, commit fraud, probably get away with it, live regularly, maybe go to jail for a white collar crime for a little bit, get out of jail, and then get rich as a result of it doing speaking engagements. Boy, we live in a privileged society. Jamal, thank you, Rita, for apologizing to me in the text messages. Jamal Fowler says, sliding through one more time. Shout out to Jamal Fowler. Yes. Albert Sky says, big ups to Anton providing the scoop on what's going on. Would you offer coaching calls to Diddy? Hell yeah. Email me, Diddy. AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. We're going to get you out of this situation, big dog. I got the key. And I'm going to be your spiritual advisor. Alhamdulillah. Cornelius Jackson says, what up, though? And just dropped that 20 ball. Thank you, Cornelius Jackson. Vietnamese Birdie Madoff. I think she did it bigger than that. She probably, listen, if they convicted her for $44 billion, they probably got way more out here in these streets. But anyways, in addition to that, Florida, speaking of thieving, Florida and New York is taking two different perspectives, two different strategies on how to deal with thieves. Now we know California is the state of not being accountable and actually empowering thieves to continue to continue to steal. You don't get nothing. You can go and squat. You can go and do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it over in California. But Florida and then New York is taking completely different strategies on how to deal with theft in stores in a state and deliveries and porch pirates specifically, especially porch pirates. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. This is Ron DeSantis holding a press conference talking about how he's cracking down on porch pirates and theft inside of the state of Florida. Check it out.
Morning to you. I'm Stephen Graves. We are interrupting programming because Governor Ron DeSantis is holding a press conference on the Treasure Coast in Stewart. Let's listen in.
We're also joined by Carlos Gonzalez, a major investigator, manager for Walgreens. Bob Brewster is going to talk about being a victim of retail theft. We have Senator Harrell and Representatives Overdorf and Snyder that are joining us, and they were instrumental in getting the legislation passed that we're going to sign today. We in Florida have been very clear. We're a law and order state. If you do the crime, you're going to do the time. We care more about protecting public safety and the rights of law-abiding citizens than we do about coddling criminals or making excuses for them. So we've done that in a lot of different ways. We've enacted really strong penalties against people that traffic fentanyl and kill our citizens. When I have had the basis to do so, I've acted to remove state attorneys who are not enforcing the law and putting their citizens at risk. We also put an end to the so-called bail reform movement in Florida, which just recycles criminals and puts them right back on the street. And we've reenacted the death penalty for pedophiles in the state of Florida.
Can we get a round of applause for Governor Ron DeSantis? Hey, Ron DeSantis said that y'all not just going to be giving all of the accolades to Governor Wheelchair over there in Texas. We're not just going to let Greg Abbott take all of the credit for going out here and taking care of business. Ron been out here passing laws, reinstating the death penalty, making sure that you get long sentences for trafficking fentanyl, protecting the borders against Haitians that's over there getting their butts kicked by barbecue. Ron DeSantis said, listen, we not playing no games out here in these streets. If y'all gonna be out here doing the crime here in Florida, you gonna do the time. Now, I thought that Texas was standing on business, but it seems like Ron DeSantis says, let me talk to you for a minute. They passing laws when it came to squatters. Y'all see that? As soon as the squatter thing became a thing, and they seen some people that was over there having a problem, they said, let me go ahead and pass these squatter laws. You go over here and you squat if you want to, you getting thrown out on your head, and you getting arrested, and you getting charged. Ron is not playing no games over there in Florida.
So all across, we've seen a commitment to public safety. And of course, we support the people that wear the uniform Part of that is by giving a bonus. We did 3 years in a row of $1,000 bonuses for every sworn law enforcement officer in the entire state of Florida. We do $5,000 signing bonuses for new recruits into the state of Florida at both the county, municipal, and state level. People know that we have their back. And if you look, that is not the norm, unfortunately, in many jurisdictions across this country. You look at a place like California, they passed Proposition 47. That allows people that commit retail theft to be charged with misdemeanor, even if it had traditionally been a felony. That means they get numerous retail theft offenses. Did they get held accountable? No. They get a slap on the wrist. You look at...
Shout out to Ron DeSantis for throwing New York and California under the bus.
New York, they eliminated cash bail for many offenses, including offenses for retail theft, so that now you can only get a felony theft charge if you steal more than $1,000 worth of merchandise. Anything less, you get a desk appearance ticket. That has caused people to loot stores and do $999 worth of looting, and then they leave knowing that they're not going to be held accountable. Well,
imagine knowing what the law is as a criminal, and you know that all you got to do is stay under $1,000. We can go up to $999 in theft. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to get this PlayStation. Let me give me a couple games to go along with it. Make sure I get me a Fanta soda. Give me a couple waters because I want to be healthy. Go get me some apple sauces, some apple juices. And I'm going to go ahead and walk on right out the door with some liquor. And we're going to go ahead and get it popping tonight. We're not worried about it. First, you got to catch me. Secondly, if you touch me, I'm going to sue. And then third, even if you do catch me, and if you find out that it's me, guess what? You can't do nothing to me because I'm under $1,000. You can't throw a felony on me. I know that I'm going to be able to beat the charge. And if you catch me, I only get a desk ticket. That's crazy. That's absolutely, positively crazy. Insane. Shout out to New York.
Well, it's not probably surprising that with policies like that, you're seeing retail theft surge in different parts of the United States. In 2022 alone, $112 billion in retail theft. States like New York, $4 billion alone in 2022. New York City has seen shoplifting increase by 63%. Los Angeles up 81%, San Francisco up 24%. Now, that has an impact on you as a consumer because the prices will go up to reflect those stolen goods. That's just basic business. If they're not able to sell those goods, if those are losses, they got to find a way to compensate. So you end up seeing rising prices when you go into the store. It also just has a demoralizing effect on people when you go in and you want to buy toothpaste, and it's like Fort Knox because it's all under lock and key for basic items. You got to get a clerk to come and open it and all this stuff just to do basic shopping. That is not something that is good for quality of life. And then, of course, if you can have people come in and just steal retail and walk out, that creates a contempt for the rule of law that has a spillover effect in areas far beyond retail theft. And so in Florida, we've actually seen a decline in retail theft over the last 4 years, and we're proud of that. I think it's because a lot of people know this is not the state you want to try that in, but we are seeing issues with retail theft across the country. Nationwide, 88% of retailers have reported that shoplifters are more aggressive and violent now compared to just a few years ago. 49% say they have observed much more violent and aggressive behavior. Why? Because I think these people come in and they have a sense of entitlement that they can take what they want and that they're not going to be held accountable. And so I think the behavior has reflected that. You see stores closing down in different parts of the United States, whether that's Target closing 9 stores in Portland and Seattle, Walmart closing stores in Chicago, Nordstrom closing stores in San Francisco. That is a direct result of the lack of commitment to the rule of law and holding criminals accountable. So we're not going to do that in the state of Florida. We're going to make sure that our retailers are able to sell products, that consumers are able to benefit, and that people are held accountable when they break the law. This theft is not limited, though, to just retail outlets. You also have in an era where people are clicking and ordering online and having packages delivered to their front door, you have a cottage industry of porch piracy, where people will go and steal packages
Covering all
from
the
somebody's
bases. Okay.
front door. And different citizens have responded in different ways. You have cameras, the doorbell cameras, you have all this other stuff, but it's not certainly effective in soft on crime jurisdictions, and it's not something you should have to do in the state of Florida, and so we're not going to put up that either. So today's bills, the bill I'm going to sign, not only cracks down on retail theft, it also cracks down on porch piracy, so that if you order something and they leave it at your front door, you come home from work or you bring your kids home from school, package is going to be there. And if it's not, someone's going to have hell to pay for stealing it. So HB 549 is a great piece of legislation. It is pretty much doing the opposite of what a lot of states like California and New York have done. It believes that we need to increase penalties on those who are committing these acts. So we will raise penalties on people that steal packages from your front porch. They are going to be deterred from doing that with adequate penalties.
And I agree with that because, listen, it's already bad enough that people are walking in the stores and stealing stuff that's not theirs. Listen, it's not yours. I don't care if it's from a big box retailer. I don't care if you don't feel like they make too much money. It's not yours. It's not yours. Keep your hands off of other people's stuff. And I think that it's 10 times worse to walk up on somebody's property and take something off of their property. That's crazy. To walk onto somebody's property. Look, bro, to touch somebody's mail is a federal offense. You are not even supposed to go and put flyers inside of a mailbox. When they would walk around and they would do the flyers back in the day, or they would do it in mailers, and they would do it separately from the post office itself, they would have to put it on the doorknob. So they would have a rubber band and they would wrap it up and they would put it on your doorknob in order for you to get the mailer, right? Or to get the little flyer or whatever that you put on. You could not put it inside of the mailbox because that's an offense. You can't put it inside of the mailbox. But people can run up on your porch and be able to take your packages. They can run up on your porch and take your packages. Man, that's crazy, bro.
We're also increasing penalties for the so-called retail theft rings. So if you have 5 or more people, you're going to have enhanced penalties as a result of that, because this is a coordinated effort that you see in some of these jurisdictions. We are also going to make it a second-degree felony if you use social media to solicit others to participate in retail theft, because what you have are these flash mobs that are incited by social media to descend on some stores. And the thing is, the clerks are overwhelmed at that point.
If your kid, y'all better watch your kid if you don't want his future to be ruined. If your kid go on social media and align themselves with or participate in something that's been promoted as a flash mob, I don't care if it's a hidden Snapchat, it's not hidden. I don't care if it's Instagram, I don't care what it is. Listen, if your kid are at these, as Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson say, large gatherings and they participate, you getting a felony. You getting a felony. They not playing no mess around if you want to. Look, you know what's going to happen, right? Somebody's kid going to get it and they going to say, oh my God, it's racism, it's systemic. They putting it on black people, or they putting it on these people. They putting it on Hispanic people. They putting it on Cuban people. Way more. Our black and our brown people are the ones that's being under duress because they're putting too stiff of a penalty on our children for doing things that is not a big deal. You're telling me that his whole life is supposed to be ruined because he decided to go in there and steal $1,000 worth of stuff? That's not right. Well, you should have told him to stop stealing. You should have told him to stop stealing. They not playing. Listen, y'all not going to get it. As much as we got this going on or whatever, you're not going to get it. You know why? Because you're going to wait to man is going to be the one that they're going to have to make some examples out of somebody. They're going to have to make some examples out of somebody. they're going to have to make some examples out of somebody. And once they make an example out of you, it's going to be him, it's going to be man, it's going to be baby, it's going to be all of them, and then you're going to get the point. Because it's not enough to just create the law. You got to actually make an example out of somebody in order to understand it.
It's very hard to keep things in order. And we are going to hold people accountable in a really big way if they're committing retail theft with a firearm, or if they've already had previous convictions for retail theft. You're looking at really, really serious penalties. So I think what we're doing has been successful compared to other jurisdictions. The fact that we've seen a decline, but we also know that we got to do all we can to be able to protect public safety. This bill, cracking down on the porch pirates, cracking down on retail theft rings, making sure people that use social media to incite these flash mobs of retail theft, that all those people are held accountable, and they will be held accountable in the state of Florida. We don't want to see stores go out of business. We don't want to see prices increase, and we certainly don't want to treat every retail establishment as if every item needs to be under a lock and key just so that they're not looted without end. And that will not happen in the state of Florida. You will have toothpaste on the shelf that you can grab, check out, and leave. Imagine that. Isn't that great to be able to do that? So thanks for the legislature for being involved in this piece of legislation. We'll hear from some of the other folks we have, so we'll start with our Attorney General.
Let me give a round of applause for the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and all of the legislators down there. Shout out to Ron DeSantis out here in the building, running it up. Said we going to go ahead and give Texas a run for their money. But we all know that California and New York, if y'all all want safe haven and you want to steal in peace and you want to go do van life, you can always go to either one of those places. You can always go. Meanwhile, over in New York, they're taking a completely different stance and strategy when it comes to stopping theft. And you can see Eric Adams right there, and let's see what their approach is going to be.
New York City just announced a new plan to push back against package thieves. And News 4's Erica Byfield's in Bed-Stuy to explain how the plan will work. Erica?
Well, today the mayor was here, and he told us that this is a win-win when it comes to dealing with package thefts and the environment. We also learned that 7 of these are ready to go, and more are on the way. Package thieves, look out. New York City is fighting back with Locker NYC. 6.5.
Florida said you're going to catch a felony. New York said we're going to put up some lockers. Listen, look at the difference between Eric Adams and Ron DeSantis. Florida said, fam, you going to jail. If you get other people to do it with you, they going to jail. Your mama going to jail. Your daddy going to jail. Everybody getting locked up. Everybody going to jail. If you steal, you going to jail. You steal something off somebody else's porch, you going to jail. Eric Adams says, let's do a press conference, and we're going to put up some lockers. It's 8.5 million people in New York, and they got 6 storage lockers ready to go.
Foot tall storage containers that are free to use, giving city dwellers a new delivery destination.
Our goal is to solve the problem, and that's why we're here today.
First one unveiled today in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. The Adams administration wanted it here because this is a community that's dealing with theft problems and space constraints. Cody Williams says it's needed.
Around about Christmas time, a couple of packages I've never received. I complain, nothing happened.
Other providers offer locker storage like this, but what makes New York City's DOT's concept unique is bright green color, and all sorts of package companies like UPS and DHL are cleared to drop off and pick up here 24/7, which should defeat crime.
When you look at
Dog, they taking whole mail trucks out here in these streets. He said this is going to defeat crime. They taking a mail truck, they taking your keys, and then they going into the mail properties and they taking your car. What you talking about?
The surge of at-home deliveries, you're also looking at the surge of theft. Almost 90,000 packages being reported stolen or lost every day in this city. New Yorkers have had thousands of dollars worth of items taken from their apartments, their lobbies, out front, on their porches, and we want to tackle the problem head on.
Another plus, city reps say that this system should help ease delivery truck congestion on the streets, allowing carriers to make fewer trips, which should address double parked vehicles and improve emissions. Gabriel Calderon thinks that might be a stretch.
That's going to happen regardless because people order online is the taste du jour right now, so people are going to order online regardless.
New York City isn't alone in its quest to manage trucks and curb thefts. A locker pilot in Seattle found that truck idling dropped 33% and deliveries decreased 78%. In Brooklyn, Williams says he's going to give it a shot.
Might work and see what happens.
Expected to last 1 year. Ultimately, it'll include 15 different locations. We found out today that the company that installed these lockers is picking up the tab, so it's free to use. And right now, it's free for New York City. Erica Byfield, News 4, New York.
So, two different people, two different states, two different governors, and two different approaches to crime. I'll leave it up to you guys to determine which one you think will be most effective. Let me read a few of the super chats, and then we're going to move over into the last thing before we get you up out of here. Jaquel says, familiar spirits, likeness of a deceased family are demonic spirits. Seeking guidance, protection, and wisdom from deities outside of Christ will put you in a debt of sin and sentenced to death. Bind them in the name of Jesus. Shout out to Jaquel. I appreciate you. Narrow Man says, astrology is explained in the book of Enoch. Those angels made a pact with each other and created the Nephilim giants. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth. 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. Hold on, let me see something. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth. 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah. What? Hold on, wait. I just want to make sure that we all, because I know y'all. Give me a second. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Songs of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts of the Apostles, Epistles to the Romans, 1st, 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, Thessalonians, Timothy, 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, Timothy, 1st, 2nd Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrew, James, Peter, 1st, 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, Revelations. That's what it used to be. I don't remember no book of Enoch. Listen. Anton from AntonDaniels.com, roll with the 66 books of the Bible. That is what I roll with. I read the King James Version. I was just like, listen, y'all could do what y'all want to do. Y'all can do. I was just trying to figure it out because I was like, I don't remember reading that book. Y'all can do what y'all want to do. I'm not going to stop you. I just had, see, whenever something hit me a little different and my spirit was like, wait a minute, I got to figure it out. So I had to go and look at it. I said, maybe I learned all of the wrong books of the Bible. Y'all could do what y'all want to do. I'm going to stick with the 66. That's what I roll with. 66 is for me. All right? God bless you. Thank you for the super chat. Jasmine Feliciano says, greetings from Florida. Recently joined the Chasers. Thank you, AD, for all that you do. Shout out to you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Jasmine, and shout out to the new Chasers. Albert Sky says, Anton, if criminals who understand the under $1,000 rule, do you think this works when retail is at discounted rates? For example, Black Friday. Well, it ain't gonna work in Florida because they don't care if it's $27 or $900. You're gonna get this work. Do you think this works when retail is discounted rate? Nah, people that want to steal is gonna steal no matter what. I think that people that steal, people that are thieves are gonna steal. You can't. Breakdown Media says thieves in California running up in stores with a calculator. Nah, they just be running up in stores, big dog. To be honest with you, they just running up in the stores. Albert Sky says Governor DeSantis came with stats like ESPN Plus. Facts. Mizum727 says, Anton, did you hear about the highest paid DEI judge in Georgia that got removed from being incompetent? Yes, I did. We did a review on it yesterday, Mizum. Yes, we did. Handing out $100 bonds. Albert Sky says, let's look at the theft stats in Tiffany Henyard City. 100%. Starting with Tiffany Henyard. Faith M says, Anton, did you see the mother of Dexter Reed on video crying and falling out over her son? Ma'am, your son's fired first. These cops don't get to go home. Facts. That's true. DeSantis definitely would be the president. So have. Shout out to Maine Law. I appreciate you. Cheyenne Tanner says DeSantis said, F around and find out if you want to. That's a fact. Breakdown Media says all that package theft and they're worried about emissions, shaking my head. Gotta be worried about the environment, big dog. Enoch is removed by the oppressors from your Bible. Okay, thank you for that. Goes on to say it's in the Eritrean and Ethiopian Orthodox Bibles. Okay, shout out to Eritrean and unorthodox. I appreciate y'all. Jay De Noir says, DeSantis ain't playing. He's even giving the pedos that death penalty work. No Diddy. I'm not going to be saying that. Shout out to Mace. I'm not saying that. He could be a nice follow-up Republican nominee in 2028. Mr. Maximus says, forget passports. I discovered Cali 304 is doing van life with busted wide open for a shower. Jesus Christ. And soft bed in a Motel 6. Wouldn't have known about it without Anton. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure I give you the information. Shout out to everybody holding us down, continuing to add value into this conversation. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Yakar came through, and he also said, I want to make sure that Hold on. Let me see this. Let me make sure I do this right. My dog, Yakar, is in the building. Yakar says, and the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is it not, or is not this written in the book of Joshua? Joshua 10:13. Now I challenge you to find a book of Joshua in your Bible. Well, let me look at this. Hold on, let me see this. Y'all want to do Bible study today? Joshua 10:13. Hold on. 10, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Second. Book of Joshua, biblical book. Means the book of the upright, book of the just man, is a lost book mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, often interpreted as a lost canonical book. Numerous forgeries purported to be rediscovered copies of this lost book have been written. Different interpretation identifies it as a reference. Specifically the book of Genesis, an interpretation which is notably favored by the Jewish scholar in his commentary in the Hebrew Bible. Let me see. Is mentioned twice. Possible third reference exists in a variant spelling. Joshua prayed for the sun and the moon to stand still. According to the book of Joshua, while Joshua was winning a battle against the king of Jerusalem and his allies, Joshua prayed for the sun and the moon to stand still. All right, I have to do some research on that. I got to do some research. Y'all got to give me some time. I can't do it right now because that's not what I prepared for in this conversation in the Millionaire Morning Show. But shout out to my dog, Yakar. G-Rod says the Apocrypha, very important AD 14 books. Yeah, we got to get people to read 66 first. Most people ain't even read the 66. I know people that be going off and trying to study a bunch of other books and ain't even read the original 66. Shout out to you, G-Rod. The Solution Trucking Channel says, Anton, the book of Joshua is mentioned in Joshua 10:13. Yep, I just looked it up. Mr. Kendall says, the book of Enoch is a fabulous story. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Solution Trucking Channel says it is also mentioned in 2 Samuel 1:18. All right. So I guess we're going to be doing Bible study one of these days. Maybe I'll do a Bible study on my day, on my birthday on the 13th this Saturday, since I'm not going to be here to live stream with y'all. I don't know. Shout out to you, my dog. Your car says, I appreciate you taking the time to read it. Yeah. We're going to deep dive into it. I might have to do a Bible study. Yes, I've read the King James Version of the Bible, all 66 books, 7 times. I have. But now on my 8th time, I'm starting to go a lot slower and study, and I got in the concordance and all of that stuff. So we deep diving. But this is the Millionaire Morning Show, so we got to keep it moving. We got one more thing that we want to bring to you guys, and that is State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Nope, not in California. State Farm says we are not in California any longer. God bless you and good night. Let's continue.
Weeks after State Farm Insurance announced it would not renew more than 70,000 policies for homes and apartments in California, we now know which zip codes will be hardest hit. NBC4's Alex Rozier joins us from Brentwood with more on the impact there. Alex.
Hey, Carolyn, the list of non-renewals really focuses in on the neighborhoods that seem to be highest risk for wildfires or other natural disasters. And this news has left thousands of California families scrambling for new insurance.
Just outrageous.
Peggy Garrity is a State Farm customer with a rental policy, and she's thankful she doesn't have one of the 72,000 home or apartment policies not renewed by the insurance company.
But I'm horrified for everybody else.
In Southern California, several zip codes on the west side are among the most impacted. Places like Pacific Palisades, Brentwood, Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and Woodland Hills.
Oh, ain't them all of the celebrity enclaves? Calabasas, Hidden Hills, Wooden Hills. Ain't that where all of the people where Kanye and all of them be hanging out? I don't know. I'm just these is all of the popular places that they say that all of the celebrities be in.
In a statement, State Farm said, quote, "This decision was not made lightly and only after careful analysis of State Farm General's financial health, which continues to be impacted by inflation, catastrophe exposure, reinsurance costs, and the limitations of working within decades-old insurance regulations."
After the recent fires and floods and now these big rains, it's only a matter of time that they're going to deny claims first, and then they're going to get out of the market so they can keep the money they already got.
So what should you do if you're about to lose coverage?
The most important lesson to take away right now is don't wait.
Carl Sussman runs Sussman Insurance Agency. He says start looking for a new policy today.
Nope, I got a better idea. Go and move to New York. Why New York, Anton? Because New York is the other liberal enclave, or Chicago. You can move to New York, you can move to Chicago, or you can go to Denver, because they don't want you in the red places. They don't want you in the places that they red, because they don't want you turning they red and the blue and then getting it all mixed up because it's Crips and Bloods. That's all Democrats versus Republicans is. It's a more sophisticated way to say Crips and Bloods. That's it. It's a Crips and Bloods conversation. And they saying, listen, don't turn my red into blue. They say we blooding over here, cuz. They say we blooding over here, blood. What? It's called California. California over here, blood. I'm always amazed at the ability for Bloods to turn every C into a B, and then they able to communicate with that. But that's the only solution. Y'all out here scrambling and trying to get new insurance policies and stuff, man. California is done. California is over. You can't afford to live there. You can't afford to survive there. If anybody has ever taken a stroll down Hollywood, you'll realize down Hollywood Boulevard, the Walk of the Stars, oh my God. I'll pick any street in the red zone in Detroit before I go and walk down Hollywood Boulevard again, honestly. Honestly, yo, if you ever want to smell piss, if you ever want to possibly get assaulted by somebody, if you want to see the old Michael Jackson, if you ever want to go and walk on somebody's Walk of Star Fame and look how dirty it is and they paid to have it there, then go ahead and walk down the Hollywood Walk of Fame over there, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. Skid Row, horrible. Florida got better weather. Mudslides, earthquakes, torrential downpour rain when they finally do get rain, because most of the time it's a drought. Fires every year. God looked at California and said, tuh. Place is a hellhole, bro. Never thought a day in my life. You can even go over to Atlanta and go and get you a acting gig before you get over there in California. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, you can't even go to McDonald's and get you a burger unless you're paying $30 an hour over in California. California is trash. Straight up, bro. But I'm going to go there for my Patreon meetup. Gotta go and see my people that's still stuck in California. If you can, sell your crib and get up out of there, bro.
Because we have such huge numbers of people looking for policies, and the capacity from the few carriers that are still taking a little bit of business here or there is so small.
Rodeo Drive is not even as nice as the Design District over there in Miami. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Rodeo Drive over there in California, that's supposed to be the creme de la creme, is not even as nice. Now, I will say, when you're driving through California, you're going up and through the hills and stuff like that, it is pretty dope. It's a pretty awesome experience. But the traffic is horrendous. Governor is being managing his state horribly. It's bad. All across the board is bad, honestly.
that it's just eaten up right away. We used to call it shopping for insurance. Now we call it hunting. You know, you ready, aim, fire. If you get something, take it, because that's the best you can do.
Sadly, Sussman said impacted customers can expect to pay up.
People should expect to pay a lot more right now because there is no competition. I mean, this is the antithesis of no competition. Prices go up.
So it's a tough time in areas that may need insurance the most. New coverage is needed in many zip codes facing the highest risk.
No, I just think it's really tragic and really sad, and it's not fair.
It's not fair.
And State Farm isn't the only insurance company making news in recent weeks. American National, a couple weeks ago, they pulled out of California in the home insurance business entirely in this state. But as for State Farm, if you're interested in the list of zip code by zip code, all those impacted, right now on NBCLosAngeles.com, there's an interactive map that breaks it all down.
Somebody said insurance companies is greedy. What do y'all, wait, what you think, that the insurance companies is not supposed to try to make money? It's a business. It's a business. Real talk. And you know what the tripped out part about it is? Is literally yesterday, I switched over from Progressive to State Farm for my homeowner's insurance for a lot of the different properties that I have, and it was significantly cheaper. It saved me more than 50%. So like a good neighbor, State Farm is there for me. But over there in California, State Farm is not going to be there for you. We literally just switched over to State Farm because I got all of my cars over there because Progressive was absolutely kicking my butt. So I switched over to Progressive from State Farm. Man, can I get a sponsorship, please? Can I get a sponsorship, please? But yeah, California is going through it. They suffering, they burning. I think that California is the worst state in the United States of America, personally. Yeah, I said it. California is quite possibly the worst state in all of the United States of America. I do want to go to, I just created my new list. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Seoul, South Korea this year. I'm probably going to do that in August. In June, I need to find, hey, I got a question for y'all. I need y'all to help me out. I'm in a bit of a pickle. I need to find a place to go to for my anniversary. All right. So Rita is requesting, let me get this off my screen. It's end of the show. Let's just kick it, y'all. Let me read a couple of super chats and then I'm going to ask y'all for y'all help. Don Drigo. Shout out to Don Drigo. Don Drigo says, a few months ago, a caller asked you to introduce Bible study to one of your channels. Do I sense a change of mind? Salute you. Nah, it's not that you see a change of mind. I finally have a channel that I'm not doing nothing with, that I'm thinking about moving over to, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. So After Hours is more cultural stuff. Millionaire Morning Show is, actually formatted show that, we use to actually have conversations about everything related back to the money, politics, crime. It's like a traditional news show, right? Anton Daniels' channel more talks about traditional things such as relationships, lifestyle. I still vlog on that, reaction videos and things like that. And so I might have a little bit of capacity to use what was formerly Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom, because I'm still trying to figure out what that channel was going to be. Right now it's called Room 9. But I'm trying to figure out what that channel was going to be. So because I don't really, I'm trying to figure out what my capacity is. Maybe we'll leverage that and we'll have a conversation over on that. So yeah, man, I mean, we growing, we evolving. I'm about to be 42 years old on Saturday. Yeah, man. Albert Sky is in the building, says, Anton, please have a chauffeur when doing the Calabasas Patreon meetups. We're not risking a Porsche from non-insured drivers. Shout out to Albert Sky. Seminole 2014 says, gotta say it like Kendrick, AD. Ain't nothing but Democrats and Republicans. Red State versus Blue State. Which one you hustling? Shout out to Kung Fu Kenny, the most overglazed rapper in the game right now. I like Kung Fu Kenny, but God, I think that people are absolutely glazing over Kung Fu Kenny over a lot of mid verses that he's been dropping lately. Oh, I know what I was gonna ask y'all before we end the show. So I need y'all help. Rita wants to go to a resort. I was thinking about going to what is it? What is the Mexico one? Los Tacabo, whatever, Los something or whatever. Maybe hitting that in June. But I would love for y'all to give me some alternatives for a resort to see what we can do. All right. Hit me up. Let me know what's going on. What Cabo San Lucas? Yeah, that's correct. I was thinking about going there. Kojak says stay out of Mexico. Los Cabos. Maldives, I'll take a spot. Santorini. Take the wife to Santorini, Greece. Santorini, Greece, huh? Puerto Vallarta, Las Amas, Bora Bora. Panama City has some great ones. Cape Verde. Wow, Natasha, you got to get on the plane. You never been on a plane? Take her to Philly. Take her to Philly. Nah, we've been to Jamaica. Nah, I'm not going to South Africa. Monaco. Monaco is that now that sounds like a move. Belize, Greece, Tulum, Bora Bora is a good resort. Aruba. But now y'all got to remember this is June too, so I want it to be weather appropriate. I don't want it to be like 114 degrees like it's over in Vegas or something. Zanzibar, Turks, Maldives, South Caribbean, Venice, Italy, Costa Rica, Vegas. Nah, I'm not gonna do the Vegas. I'm not gonna do Vegas. I can go to Vegas anytime. Turks. Y'all think I should go to Turks? I'm saving Italy. San Francisco, Canary Islands in Spain. Spain, you'll love Africa. Why Africa? Thailand. Ladyboys. Home of the Ladyboys. I just went to Tokyo last year. Maldives, Turks, Morocco. Morocco. All right. Monte Carlo. I like that. I heard Australia got a whole bunch of huge bugs and spiders. I don't know. What is Zanzibar? Santorini. Dubai. Huh. Get a villa in Turkish and Caicos on a private beach. Oh, y'all want me to spend some money. Aruba. All right, cool. All right. I'm going to see what it do. Thank y'all for the suggestions. I'm going to go back and see what's happening out here in these streets. Y'all want me to spend some money. Monaco. I'm really liking that Monaco. I am going to do the Room 9 channel. Come to NYC. We have a lovely view of the migrants and state-of-the-art lockers. Zanzibar is in Africa and is gorgeous. Y'all want me to get earthy out here in these streets? Y'all want me to be walking around with clay on my feet? Come to NYC. We have a lovely view of migrants and state-of-the-art lockers. That's so funny. St. Lucia, Philippines, Greenland. Turks has a State Department warning. Okay, well, we might have to figure that out. Costa Rica. All right. I see y'all saying the Maldives, Bora Bora, all of that type of stuff. We're going to see what's happening in these streets. All right, y'all, listen. Y'all have been very, very, very helpful. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Turks and Caicos, Quentin. All right, I'll look at it. Y'all say that the state got a warning on it. Kitts Island. What is Kitts Island? Curaçao. Dubai. St. Bart's. Trinidad. Alaska. All right. Well, I know for a fact I'm probably going to do Caraco, Mexico area is beautiful. Okay, so we'll see what's happening. So what I'm going to do is I am going to Seoul, Korea in August. I'll probably hit Hawaii and spend thank you, bro. I appreciate you, nerd. Probably hit Hawaii in the wintertime. And then I got to do something for my 20th anniversary, so I'm going to figure that out. So, all right, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the suggestions. I'm going to go through and I'm going to research some of this stuff. All right, so I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Remember, we got after hours tonight, so we're going to be popping off that. One more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.